Hey everybody, welcome back to Runaway Roses. Today, we're going to talk about some truck camper stuff. It's been a while since we talked about truck camper stuff, and as you know, if y'all have been watching the channel long enough, we don't have one anymore, but we did have a total of 8 truck campers and a bunch of different trucks to haul them. So today, I just want to talk about whether or not the truck that you purchase is actually rated to haul a slide-in truck camper. So when I've purchased a truck new or even used, matter of fact with this one, it would typically come with some paperwork that says whether or not your truck is rated to haul a slide-in truck camper. Some are not, and it kind of depends on what it is. Even some paperwork also has come with our Ram 4500, and I think it also came with the Ford F450 cab chassis. Both of those were the cab chassis trucks, and both of those said not for a slide-in truck camper. Of course, there was also no bed on them too, you know, the way they come from the manufacturer. But let's talk about pickups. So I have 3 of the pieces of paper that came with 3 of the trucks that I had, just to kind of show you the difference between you know, whether they were or were not rated for hauling a slide-in truck camper. One of them was not, 2 of them were, but it's just not quite as easy as that, because there are some differences in the payload of the truck versus what they're actually rated for a slide-in truck camper. And they are very vehicle specific, so each piece of paper has the VIN number for each vehicle on it. So depending on, you know, your vehicle and, you know, what features it has is going to depend on how much payload or how much slide-in truck camper it can hold. So let me show you the 3 pieces of paper that I got with the 3 different trucks, and let's get into it. So I'm certainly not going to argue with the manufacturers of the trucks out there as to whether or not you should or should not be able to put a slide-in truck camper in the back of the truck, nor am I going to tell you whether or not you can put one in the back of your truck. That's going to be up to you to do your own due diligence, whether or not you can put a slide-in truck camper in the back of your truck safely. So make sure you check out all specs, do your homework on that. But let's go ahead and check out these 3 trucks that I've had. So here's the 3 that I've had, just made some notes on it. This one here is the 2022 F350 gas with the 7.3 gas dually. This one was the 2022 F250 Tremor. And this one over here is the current truck that we have, a 2024 Ram 2500 gas with a 6.4 liter engine in it. So this one here, it's not super clear because I made a photo, or I made a print off a photo. So, but you can do my best so I can show that to you. So here you can see the specs. That's my 2022 F350, the 7.3 gas. So it did have a higher payload of 6,253 pounds. So that was a high payload for a dually, gas dually. And the sheet that came with it here, it does say that you can put a slide-in truck camper in the back of it. This truck actually came with the camper package. So I believe that if you get a Ford F350 dually and it does not have the camper package, you probably will get one of these. But since it did have the camper package, it did allow for the slide-in truck camper. But what it does allow is a cargo weight of 5,408 pounds. So, and the actual payload of the truck is 6,253. Subtract the slide-in truck camper allowance weight of 5,408. So there's actually a difference of 845 pounds. So it's not quite as simple as just looking at your door sticker and seeing what the payload is on the truck according to the manufacturer. So this one being the 2022 Ford F250 Tremor, this one did have the Power Stroke diesel in it, so it was a little bit lower on payload, but it still had 2,782 pounds of payload. So it still had a really good payload for an F250 with the diesel in it. However, it was not, as you can see, it was not rated to haul a truck camper. And it probably did not have the camper package, but it did have the off-road package of the trimmer, so that can also make the suspension a little bit softer. You know, supposedly to make it ride a little bit smoother, but it did have the overload springs on the rear axle, so it basically had the same rear axle and spring package as the F350 from the homework I did on it, but it was an F250. And then our current truck that we have is a 2024 Ram 2500 with the 6.4 liter gas engine in it, and you can see it has a payload of 3,111 pounds, and according to the Ram's sheet, it has a cargo rating for the truck camper of 2,172 pounds. So that's a difference of 939 pounds. So as you can see, whether it's the Ford or the Ram, there's a difference on what the actual payload says on the door sticker compared to what they actually find acceptable for a slide-in truck camper. So that is something to pay attention to. If you're getting the Ford, definitely go for the camper package if you think you might be on a slide-in truck camper, that's for sure. And as you can see, each one does have the VIN number for the specific truck. So again, it's very vehicle specific. And you know, this dually was a 14,000 GVWR. This Ford F250 Tremor had a GVWR of 10,800 pounds. And our current Ram 2500 has a GVWR of 10,000 pounds. So that's kind of what the difference is. I'm not going to say whether or not you should or should not be able to put a slide-in truck camper in the back of your truck. And of course, none of these trucks came with mounts that would go, you know, down on the side of the bed, down there, in order to actually mount a you know, frame mounts for your turnbuckles and that sort of thing. So just something to think about if you're out shopping for a truck and you want to get a slide-in truck camper. And that's about all I'm going to touch on that topic. We could go into greater depth, but I just wanted to show you what I got, what I kept over the years, and show you how there is a difference between what's acceptable for a slide-in camper versus the actual payload. Also, one thing that both Ford and Ram want to point out on their information is the center of gravity location of the camper over the rear axle. So you want to make sure you find the center of gravity for your camper and then align that properly over the rear axle or slightly in front of that. So I will put a scanned version of this in the video here so you can read through all the information and get a better look at it. So hopefully that'll help. Well, I'm sure we could go into great detail and make this a really long video. I'm just trying to make a quick one about this. I'm sure there's a lot more we could actually discuss, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of comments, so leave your comment down below what you think about this. But it's not my call, that's the manufacturer's, so you can, I'm just laying it out and give you some information. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you got something out of it. Please like, subscribe, and share, and see you next time on Runaway Roses. Bye bye.